I'm going to share a couple troubleshooting tips for these new high energy efficient furnaces. And there's not a lot that the typical homeowner can do because they're so complex. But two things you can troubleshoot is the igniter, and usually they're a hot surface igniter or a heating coil, and then the flame sensor. And so I'll show you where they are first, and then I'll give you a couple tips on how to troubleshoot them. So on the left you can see the igniter start to heat up, and then it calls for heat. And now to the right of it, that little rod that's sticking down in a flame is your flame sensor. So if you start your furnace and nothing's happening, and you check and that igniter isn't glowing, you've got a bad igniter. And so it's a very easy fix. This one is held in by two screws, which I already removed. Some are just held in by a little clip, and there's a few different styles. This one's a circular style, some are flat, and very easy to change. You're just going to unplug this and plug in the new one. And this is something that every homeowner should have, a backup igniter, because if it goes out, you're going to save a very expensive service call, and it's one of the few things that are very easy to replace yourself. So the other very common problem is the furnace actually turns on. You get a flame, but then after a few seconds the flame goes out, and then it turns back on and goes out. And 90% of the time you have just a dirty flame sensor, and it's very easy to fix this problem. And again, it's probably not a bad idea to have a backup flame sensor because it's changed the same way, it just plugs in. But to clean this is something you should do once a year, is take out the flame sensor. And this one was held in by one screw, which I already removed. And all you're going to do is you're going to clean this off and use just a very fine emery cloth, or you can even use something like a dollar bill and clean it off. Don't touch the rod itself because you don't want to get oils on it. And some are straight and some come at an angle. But a great routine is just clean this once a year, and you'll solve one of the most common problems of furnaces. So with those two tips, you should be able to solve most of your problems.